Noct is one of those early access games where everything looks fine. We have a nice cover art, a lot of screenshots, a great trailer that actually shows gameplay, the game's website is linked on the store page, and our good old friends Devolver Digital are the publishers. At first glance, everything looks perfect. But when you look a little bit deeper, you notice that the game has been in early access since 2015. You may also notice that the game has 356 reviews, but the reception is mixed. If you saw the reviews for this year, you'll notice that most of them are very negative and proclaim the game to be dead. Even the positive reviews are aware of the fact that the game has not seen any update for several years, and a quick glance in the update tab shows us that the last update was in 2017. This really doesn't look good. There is an explanation for that though. One of the positive reviews mentions a person named Mode, and we will see this name come up at the end of this video, but for now let's take a look at the discussion tab. Whoever the community manager is for this game, they are doing a bad job. While I do welcome pinned discussions that serve a purpose, most of those pinned discussions here are useless, and on top of that most of them are literal years old. Why do we need a beta feedback if the game has not been updated since 2017? Why do we need a suggestions tab if the game is not even 10% done? Why is there a random update note? This makes the game just look bad. The general guide you can follow for pinned discussions is to have a bug thread, a suggestions thread, a current events thread, and if you're willing to spend the time on your social media, you can have a pinned thread with all the social media links. In this case though, it wouldn't help much because their Facebook page is not available, the official Noct Twitter has not seen any activity since 2017, and the Twitter account of the official developer has been inactive since 2016. If you dig even a little bit deeper, you would see that there was a Kickstarter campaign that reached its goal, and the last update there is also from 2017. So, at this point you could literally just throw the game away. This game is stuck either in development hell or was never intended to be finished in the first place. Here is the interesting thing though. The first pinned discussion is called Dead and asks the question if the game is still in the works. Which developer who wants to scam people would pin a negative discussion on their board? Not many, and the reason is that Mode is an unofficial developer of the game, and he has been occasionally streaming the development process and actively responding to new entries on this discussion regularly. One thing that is weird about Mode though is that the Mode profile has a VAT ban and is private. While VAT bans are not necessarily a bad thing, in this context, it does make the situation worse. There are so many red flags around this game, comrades, we could probably storm the Kremlin. I have personally seen Mode do development on the game, but if I was a random person that hasn't followed this game for a few weeks now, I would not be impressed. At the end of the day, this game fails in every aspect of communication and presentation, which is a shame because the idea behind the game is actually pretty good. The visuals are a bit hard to get into, but once you start recognizing what things are, it gets really interesting. That really interesting feeling lasts only for 30 minutes though, and then you have seen everything. Like the review said, this is more of a demo, and I don't think it should be sold for $10. To be honest, this should be completely free, and when the game is released, you can attach a price to the full release version. I'm confident that this game will be released. The problem is that if you put a game in early access and you ask money for that, that means you have to have a product that is at least 80% done. Your early access launch is your launch. The first impression players get when you launch in early access is the impression that will stuck with people or with the majority of people. Early access is mostly a marketing tool and is there to provide developers with enough time to iron out weird bugs and balancing issues, not to develop the game. Development of the game should be almost done when a game enters early access, and it's really important to constantly update the people that are playing your game, even if it's only a picture of the development tool. This is not the case here. Yes, there is someone working on the game, but there are no contractual obligations there as far as I know, and the developer seems to have vanished in thin air. For all intents and purposes, this game is abandoned at first glance, and even if the developer says he wants to finish the game, there are examples in the past where I talked to devs that want to finish their games and they're still not out yet. So the only thing I can say is to not touch this thing for now. And for those who plan to make games, again, here is a word of advice. If you put your game in early access, make sure it's 80% done. Nearly all mechanics have to be finished, nearly all levels have to be done, most of the story should be developed, and you should have the budget to finish the game. The reason early access exists is to give you people to test your game hard enough, and it's mainly a marketing tool. If your game is not 80% done, don't even think about early access. Alright? Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and have a nice day.